today. I'm going to put this in here. Alright guys, first things first, we're going to start tearing off the air cleaner. Basically, we got to get everything torn completely down. To drain the coolant system, there's the petcock. Alright guys, I think I'm ready to pull the intake real quick. If it still wasn't so damn hot. Ooh, this is very hot yet. Yeah, this intake still had some coolant in it. Man, that thing's still hotter than hell. Ooh. And just lined up perfect. So, hey, you can tell. Almost wonder if I maybe had a little bit of oil leak in the back of that. For that China wall. But yeah, hot engine oil gets splashed up against this all the time. So that's why I got a new air gaps design for my new one. All right, let's have a look inside here. I'm going to go ahead and focus on the exhaust. Anyway, that new spider bolts into these. These three dog bones go between here, which I'll show you all that. But you pull off the valvetrain, you pull off the exhaust, you pull off the front accessory drive, pull out the radiator and the fans, and hang on just a bit. Alright, boys and girls, now it's time to head underneath. Pull off my Y pipe, my oxygen sensor, and my header collectors. So I just need to take off this oxygen sensor. I'm going to go ahead and take off that oxygen sensor as well. That goes to my O2 sensor, so or my air fuel or rich lean indicator, my RLI. So okay, I'm going to go ahead and start pulling these off. Y pipe that came with my headers. There's a Y pipe that came with my headers. 2.5 inch or 3 inch down to dual 2.5 inch, and a nice smooth transition to 3 inch. And then I necked it back down to 2 3/4 before I got my headers. So I just had it running to 2 3/4. Now I'm going to bump it back up to 3 inch. And I'm going to go ahead and weld a flange that size here, and then just that way I can just bolt the damn thing up. All right. Next up, we're going to go ahead and pull off the headers. There we go. There's the dipstick tube. All right, now onto the headers. All right, now with these headers, it is difficult to use a socket because the pipes are so close. Actually, I've got to use an open-end wrench. Well, these heads still have some heat in them. And these are just the header bolts that came with it. Came with the headers. So, I've got some new ones that are Allen head, so that should make things quite a bit easier. when reinstalling. Then I'll just be able to use a little socket. I think I can use a socket on the very front one. And maybe for cylinder number 7 as well. Go ahead and get that loosened real quick. Now, if you remember correctly, cylinder number 5 is the one that I had trouble getting the spark plug in. So I actually had to remove. I pull the header back off to tighten the spark plug. And these new headers, or sorry, the new heads have for the back one, a stubby wrench if possible. These new heads have angle plugs on them, so it should make it easier to route the plugs. It's easier to install the plugs. Even with this nice short wrench, I'm still having trouble getting the wrench between the firewall. It's a tight fit. I don't even know what you guys can see in there. Stubborn little guy. Go ahead and use a socket. I've only got one header bolt remaining, or 2 header bolts remaining, one in the front and one in the back. If you remember correctly, this header had to be installed from the bottom. I got new gaskets, but this header gasket actually looks, maybe it does need reused, or it does need replaced. You know, when I put these headers on.
What?
You know, when I put these headers on, I wasn't entirely sure if I wanted to push this truck this far, or take this project this far.
Well, I remember the headers being a pain in the ass, so.
Not like the rocker arms the first time. I broke that fitting on the intake.
Yeah, well, didn't you also bend a piston rod? Or push rod, I mean?
My S10 I did.
No. I thought you did on this one too.
No. I mean, I broke off an exhaust bolt. I want this jacket.
No,
Alright,
it's
I
not
broke.
like it's really cold in here. I just gotta chill.
I broke off a header bolt on that. That intake was still hot as shit when I pulled it. I mean, stupid hot. I mean, everything was hot, but they're still heating the motor.
Well, it's weird because I was like, I thought I heard you talking to somebody, but I thought maybe you were just talking to that camera. I'm still fucking tired.
Come on, babe, I'm recording.
Oh,
Dropping
sorry.
F-bombs.
Mute me out.
Son of a bonus. Demonetized.
You should be good.
Huh?
I said then you should be okay.
Boy. All right, now I only get 2 down, 4 to go. Lucky for me, it's the easy 4. No, the farthest rear one is the hardest one. I don't really have to tell you that, do I? Remember the Camaro, how tight it was on this side?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you couldn't fit your hands in there, but somehow I managed to get the bolts on and tight. With my friggin' meat hooks. You just saying you got child hands? Yeah, one of these exhaust studs, or exhaust bolts, the head broke off. There was just enough thread on it. And when I say just enough thread on it, I mean, I got about 2 turns. And that big nut was up against the pipe. You know?
I was gonna tag you in this, but you're the one who shared it.
What?
The one that says tag a dad to ruin his day. With people like doing stupid little things.
Yeah. Some people just want to watch the world burn. What?
The free sun.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna bother me that much. Oh, what the hell? And this front bolt here would barely even fit into the actual header itself. I actually had to thread it in. Because that pipe is bent at just the wrong angle for it.
The screws, or they just threw them back in the box.
Well, he threw the one in, and then you see what they did after the.
Well, then they dumped them, and then they just threw them back in.
Oh, he threw the individual screws
Yeah.
in the box. Oh, perfect. And he dumps them all out, and then throws them all back in. Got it.
What?
Oh shit.
What?
I'm not gonna be able to reuse these spark plugs because I broke them.
Really shouldn't break them.
Oh, I didn't really do it on purpose.
This
this-
had a radio.
Hey, this one fell and snapped off the tip of
Oh.
it.
Oh well, that's a cheap part. I can live with that.
You know what?
What?
It didn't fall out. It went inside the primary.
Oh,
That's
this
the
is
tip of it.
broke off.
Just happens to be where she wound up at. Dang it.
You're making a mess.
I drained the rad. I don't know what else you want me to do.
I don't want you to do anything but what you're doing.
What's that?
I don't want you to do anything but what you're doing. You okay?
Yeah, it was just tight. Just broke my friggin' ratchet.
Sounded like you broke something.
Yeah, just snapped it. Their last part number 73879. Guaranteed for life. I'll go grab a different one. To be fair, that Duralast AutoZone brand ratchet did actually break this nut loose, or this bolt loose. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I'm the first one to touch that in 27 years. 20. All right, guys. In order to receive, or in order to pull this bracket off, there's a bolt right there, right straight down from my pinky. So I need to take the power steering pump off, but in order to do that, I need to take the pulley off to get to the bolts behind the pulley. So I need to run it down and grab a puller real quick, but until then I can go ahead and pull the crank pulley off, and I also need to get a harmonic balancer puller, and then I can take my timing cover off, and then I'll have access to my timing chain, and then I'll have access to my camshaft. So I need to go grab some stuff. Actually, while I'm at it, I can go ahead and pull off all the rocker arms before I head to town. Which inside these poly locks, they call them, there's a set screw inside a long skinny nut with a hex head on top. They use that long skinny nut to reach down past the rocker arm body. These poly locks don't matter which cylinder they came from. But if you had if you're using stock stamped steel rocker arms, they kind of have the ball nuts have a wear pattern that they grind into the actual rocker arm body. So you don't want to mix and match those, but with the roller rockers, it's okay. These are still full of oil. All right, now the rocker arm's going to begin coming off. Well, I'm never going to reuse these anyway, so it doesn't matter, but otherwise you definitely want to try to keep track of where these push rods go. heads weigh a little bit more than the aluminum ones. All right, guys, I got one head pulled off, and another one, several of the bolts taken out. I'm pretty much at a stopping point now. I can go ahead and pull out the lifters. Might as well do that. Too big of a pick. All right, guys, just wanted to show you where I'm at real quick. I went in and pulled the lifters out, pulled the driver's side head off, and you know, pulled everything all apart. One thing I was going to check out is, oh yeah, I got a tripod. I wanted to actually CC these cylinder heads. You can see the new ones, which there's a lot less space around here. Like this is a deep corner, that's a deep corner. And you can see around the spark plug area, this here is a much smaller chamber. Like I said, I don't know if this is a 64cc or a 76cc, so I was going to go ahead and check them out. Also around here and here, like I said, this is all filled in. So, like I said, it's and it's also, there's a hump in there too, instead of being flat. So I don't know if that's enough to be. I know it's definitely smaller chamber, or this is definitely a smaller chamber, but I wasn't sure if this was 64 or 76. So I'm going to go ahead and see what I can do about trying to get a graduated cylinder in here and check it out. So, all right. And I also got to go to town, get a harmonic balancer puller and a power steering pulley puller. So here's a bunch of my head bolts. There's a bunch more of them, and I got to run to town real quick. Hey guys, I just CC'd the head using the 510 and 15 milliliter is on the stable. That there should be 70 cc's if it was perfectly level. That, I think that's pretty much shit. Anyway, I think that's pretty much 60. We can call it 64 cc. It didn't start overflowing onto this flat part, the deck surface, until I put the extra 5 cc's in. So I put 4 full deals, which would be 60. Then I put 5 in there, and it was pretty damn close. So I'm going to call this a 64 cc chamber, and this is a 58. So my compression ratio will wind up being about 9.2 to 1. If it was a 76 cc chamber, it would wind up being closer to 10.5 to 1. So anyway, that's what my compression ratio will wind up being. It goes on top of the dog bones. There's a little flat on the lifters. You can kind of see, dang it. You can kind of see the little flat on the lifters. Yeah, there we go, that's a good one. And that keeps the lifters, the wheels facing the right direction. So this, a spider, goes on and springs down and actually holds those dog bones in place.